the very beginning, it basically started with being brought up with 3 boys in the family, my 3 brothers, and my youngest brother, he's basically just a bike fanatic. And it was purely that, because I've been brought up with bikes around me. When I turned 16, my dad said to me, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "Oh, can I have a bike?" And he thought, right, I want to get this daughter of mine a bike because I don't want her to ride bikes in the future because they're dangerous things. That's how he always thought of it. So for my 16th birthday, I got a nice little white Honda CB50cc motorbike, and basically I rode that around for a little while before I actually sprayed it to the way I liked it. I sprayed it black, and then I put on my favourite band that I like at the time, again because my brother's brainwashed me into Rolling Stones, and I had a black, it was matte black, and it had a Rolling Stones tongue sticker on the petrol tank, and I rode around that for a little while before then I went on to a BSA Bantam, another 175 it were, the old British bikes that my brother used to idolise, so he was proud of me then, so I thought, yes, he likes me. He's proud of his little sister. The biggest bike I ever rode was a 404 Honda, and that's purely because my second brother went away on holiday and he said, "Becky, look after this bike for me, and if you want to take it out and for a little ride you can do." And because it was low on the floor, I could ride it with my little short legs, so again looked after that. Then basically I never rode bikes for a good 20 odd years because I had a family and I couldn't ride them with them on the back. And then I had recently, I think I'm going through the midlife crisis, and I bought a Yamaha bike. They're just like your baby. I can pick and choose the days I want to take it out, and I usually pick the sunny, shiny days. If you take it out when it's cool, you're chattering, oh, your teeth are chattering, and you feel cold, but it's great, yeah, all the protection and everything. One day I'd love to have a trike with a bigger engine, and then I can stick hubby in the sidecar, and I can ride off and take him for a ride, and I know that he won't feel frightened that I'm going to topple over with him on the back as well. When I keep saying little, but when I was in about teenage, I wanted to do veterinary nurse, and my dad at that time, because, bless him, because he'd bought because we got 5 kids and I was the last one, the youngest one, by the time it come to my education, he thought, no, I'll pay for your fees if you want to be a doctor or if you want to be a lawyer, but not to be a vet. Bless you. So anyway, he wouldn't fund me for that. So I thought, right, okay, how can I get into animal nursing? And then I thought, well, maybe if I start off at kennel, work my way from there. So I went to Battersea Dogs Home one day, and I saw this girl working on her own in the cattery, and I thought, wow, she's her own boss, this girl. So I thought, right, I'd love to do that. And it was a year later, I applied for a kennel maid, and I worked in the with the dogs as a normal kennel maid, and then about a year later, after working at Battersea Dogs Home, I was doing the cattery, and that's how I ended up working at Battersea Dogs Home. When we used to sit in the staff room, we're all having a brew and we're having our breaks, and then sometimes you get attached to a certain one, so what you tend to do is bring them into the staff room and let them totter around. And well, this girl came in that day with a chihuahua, a little black chihuahua, and it used to grunt because it had like little breathing problems with its nostrils. But what she'd done is she cut a jumper like that, a sleeve of a jumper, and then put 2 holes at the front and 2 holes at the back, and then put the chihuahua in this sleeve of a cardigan jumper to keep it warm because it kept shivering as well. It had the shakes because it was always cold. So she goes, "Oh, come and give this dog a cuddle." And I thought, if I cuddle that dog, it's going to come home with me. So I said, no, I'm not cuddling that dog. "Go on, Becky, go on, you can cuddle it, go on. I'll take it back after me, don't worry." So I'll give it a cuddle anyway. That day, I ended up taking it home, and I thought, if that dog gets on with my other dog at home that I already had, and my cat at home that I already had, then I'll take it. Anyway, we were cuddling it like a baby, and it got too attached, and I took it home, and it got on with my dog, so you never guess what? Ended up with another pet. From the Battersea Dogs Home. We always were told you never ever put a dog and a bitch together because they might mate, for one thing, and you never ever put 2 boys together because usually the boys will fight because they're territorial. No, you can always double up the females in the pens, but never the males. Well, all the time there was this dog. It was a terrier type of dog, and it used to always go in on its own, but you can guarantee it'd be, when you come into work the next day, it'd be in with another pen with another dog or another female, purely because this dog, he was so cheeky, he could jump up somehow. He must have clawed onto the grids of the pen or the door, and he'd jump up, and just jump over, and then he'd be into the next pen. So, oh God, he was a naughty one. Yeah, but I can say some sad stories as well, really. You know, we used to work with the puppies, and you can guarantee that all the time. I mean, oh God, I used to come into work one day, and there was this tiny little puppy, tiny one that could fit into your hand, and this one was a litter of about 5. But this was like the weak one, and it wasn't feeding off the parent and that. So what I used to do was just go into the kitchen and heat up some warm milk and put it through a little plastic bottle with the tea and hand feed it. Anyway, I came into work this other day, and it obviously wasn't strong enough, and I had to take it to the vets because it was really, really struggling with its breathing. And she'd then had to say, "I'm sorry, Becky, we have to let this one go." Yeah. But when I worked there was this Great Dane as well, and he was, oh my God, we said he's never going to get home, because every time somebody stopped to look at him, he'd bark, woof, 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 woof. But he'd scare people because he used to jump up on the pen, on the cage door, so people used to stop and look at him, and then he used to woof, 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 and this woof, woof, woof was in such a deep woof that it used to frighten people. So what we did, we thought, right, okay, what we need to do is every time we noticed when we went in to change his water bowl and clean him and that, he used to try to nuzzle out like that. So we said, right, Teen, what we do is you loop your loop, I'll loop my lead from both. As he tries to nuzzle out, we're both looping from both sides, and we'll just run with him. So that's what we used to do. As a regular thing, we did that, and he got so used to us with human contact with us. After it took about a good 2 weeks, I'd say, of this looping him, running around the pens while the other kennel maids went in and cleaned him out his bed and cleaned out his cage, pen, put food down for him, and then we shout, "We're coming back now." So they say, "Right, okay, ready, yeah." So they'd open the door wide open, we'd carry on running, and we'd literally swing him in. Massive Great Dane, taller than, back's right up here. So we'd throw him in, and that's how we got him to, when we came to go to the pen, when people then stopped to look at the pen, he wouldn't stand up and bark. He'd be too busy trying to nose to get out, thinking he's going to get out. And that was the first day when he didn't bark, he actually somebody stopped and said, made inquiries about him. And in the end, he went to a farm.